All right, folks. So, this week for our discussion, we have got a complicated issue that I don't honestly feel like that for me personally, anyway, I don't fall clearly on one side or the other. I feel like for me personally, it's very much a gray issue. You are free to feel like it's kind of a gray issue and you're not really certain on which side you fall on, or you can fall on one side. This is definitely my position on this, or you can fall into the other extreme. You do have to support your answer, but again, for this one particular person and this one particular issue, I am not sure. I have other people that I am very clear that I have a hard. This is, my position on this issue. But for Von Braun and his rocket team, I don't personally know, and that's kind of weird for me. Anyway, so post World War II, the Allied countries, especially the Soviets, the English to a lesser degree, and the United States. After World War II, all three of these countries are going to work to capture information as well as scientists from Nazi Germany. The United States does this also for Japan. The Soviets weren't involved with the Japanese, and so they did not benefit from as much of that information haul. But all three countries do this to a more or lesser degree. But for the United States, we are going to name this program Operation Paperclip. Now, with the United States in Operation Paperclip, a big person, a big team is Werner von Braun, as well as his entire rocket team. Von Braun is a Nazi. He's a Nazi scientist. He worked on the V1 program as well as the V2 program. And at the end of World War II, he is going to make a very big effort to try to find him some Americans to surrender to. And he does that. And then he is brought to the United States along with the entirety of his rocket team. And they go for a while to El Paso, and then they come to Huntsville. Here in Huntsville, von Braun is going to work with the United States military to develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, to develop and missiles that can deliver nuclear warheads to the Soviet Union. Later, von Braun will use those same concepts and literally some of the same rockets to develop the NASA space program. The Saturn V was originally a platform to deliver intercontinental ballistic, or actually nuclear warheads. And you just take the warhead off of it and you put a crew capsule on, and you've got yourself some astronauts. So, but here's the question. Here's the discussion question that I want you to grapple with. So von Braun was a Nazi, developed weapons for the Nazis. He also, him and his rocket team in that picture with the cave there, are going to develop and build those V2 rockets, especially at a place called Mittelwerk in Germany. And Mittelwerk uses Jewish slave labor. And more Jewish enslaved people are going to die at Mittelwerk than the V2 rocket killed in England. So more people died in production of this thing due to the conditions and the treatment of the slave labor than died, actually using this thing as a weapon of war. And von Braun knew about what was going on at Mittelwerk. Some of the rocket team were actually at Mittelwerk. There's a little bit of debate on how many times von Braun went to Mittelwerk. and actually saw conditions on the ground. There's a little bit of debate on that. But with all that being said, so you can redeem yourself. You can, hey, that was a messed up chapter in my life. That was wrong. I'm going to move on and do something positive. But here's the thing that I want you to grapple with. Here in Huntsville, we have the Von Braun Center. We have a municipal center named after a former Nazi that his program resulted in the deaths of lots and lots of Jewish enslaved labor. Should we do that? Should we name a municipal center, as well as there are streets around Huntsville that are named for members of the former Nazi rocket team? Should we do that? Yes, people can redeem themselves, and that's fantastically cool, but do they deserve to be honored for that? For their later contributions? I personally don't know. So grapple with that. But here's the thing. So I need you to give me your take on it. Like, I don't really know. It's kind of a complicated situation. Yes or absolutely not. But you need to give me specific examples. I need you to tell me yes or no or gray area, but this is what happened at Middleburg. And then yes, no, gray area. This is what he did and his rocket team did in the United States to benefit the United States. So I need specific information on what happened at Middleburg and what happened at the United States in the United States. If you just give me, well, I think we should just name whatever after whoever, and just a bunch of fluff with no specific examples, that's not going to do really well. I need a yes, no, maybe specific information. Specific information is the big key here. Then also move on and reply to some of the other students in the class. So with that, we will see you in the discussions.